Welcome to the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Colorado State getting set to take on the UNLV Running Rebels. Hello to everyone. All right, Wolf alongside the coach, Dave Bowinkle. So glad that you're with us. And coach, here we are. It's still early in the conference schedule, but both these teams have ideas about finishing in the top 2 or 3 in the conference. That makes this a critical game tonight. Why is it critical for each team?
Well, in UNLV's case, they've been with the big boys in the top echelon of this conference since its inception. They need to take care of business at home to stay in that race this year. They've already lost to BYU and to San Diego State. They can't have it happen here tonight to CSU. Conversely, CSU, they want to be thought of somebody as an up-and-coming team. To do that, they need to win a big game on the road. That's tonight.
Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. First of all, for Colorado State, 3 guys in the backcourt, Eichmeyer, Nygon, and Green. And a lot of the scoring comes from these 2 guys up front, Ogaday and Franklin. For Lon Kruger's team, starting lineup, no Trayvon Willis. More offense going to have to come from these guys, including Chase Stanback. He is so vital to their success when he plays well. They're a team that is very tough to beat at home. Keys to the game are brought to you by Ram, award-winning Ram trucks plus a new heavy duty, making one of the most powerful lineups in Ram history. Coach?
First for the Rams, Rebels beat people with the press. You can't have stage fright against that press. Can't be afraid of it, attack it, make them pay for pressing. Flatten out dribble penetration. You can't let the running Rebels drive the ball in the paint, protect the rim. For UNLV, guard the arc. Colorado State's the best three-point shooting team in the conference. They got to guard the arc. And they need to find some inside post points. They haven't got much inside scoring. Their 3-headed center needs to score some points. That's what they need to do to win tonight.
Tonight's matchup to watch, Coach. Right here, you've got Travis Franklin, Chase Stanback. Break it down for us.
Well, they'll probably match up against each other defensively and offensively. Neither of them have played as well as they anticipated for this year. Stanback needs to step it up, especially without Willis playing, and Travis Franklin needs to get back to playing the way he played in the non-conference season. And for the game, guess what? 2 good teams trying to make some noise.
Let's play basketball. We've got 20 minutes on the clock. There is a buzz in the Thomas and Mack Center. Rams and Running Rebels here on the mountain.
I was going to say, interesting. How about Jasper jumping center? He's such a great athlete, even though he's a perimeter player.
So Ogaday and Jasper. And Jasper shows that athleticism. Gets it back to Oscar Belfield, starting point guard.
Right away, you see Colorado State in a man-to-man, but it'll be a much different man-to-man than that'll be played by UNLV. Colorado State calls theirs a pack, because they pack in their man defense. It's a soft man.
Stanback misses the jumper. We're going to have a jump ball possession to Colorado State. Colorado State 12-5, coming off a very solid home win against TCU, 79-69, a game in which they shot it 60% from the field for the game, including the first half, where they shot 72% from the field. So they're trying to keep it going tonight.
And right away, we see that full court press put on by UNLV, especially when the ball's out of bounds on the baseline. You can't run the baseline for a better angle.
UNLV, also a winner their last time out as they defeated Air Force up in Colorado Springs.
One of the things that Coach Miles said to me, he didn't want to see the ball stop. The ball has to keep moving. Once the ball stops, then that allows UNLV to get in the passing lanes and deflect.
Eichmeyer, good pump fake from 17. Count it. Good-looking stroke from Wes Eichmeyer.
I call that an end one. The shot fake, as you said, Ari, gets the defense out of position. And 1 dribble, not 2. Because you take 2 dribbles, you get to where the help defense is.
Really stepped into that jumper nicely. Got his legs under him. Masamba inside. That's blocked away by Franklin. And Nygon tracks down the loose ball. Franklin's a slasher, gets into the lane, leaves it short. Stanback the rebound. Here come the Running Rebels.
You see the tape on Belfield's hand. He's got a little right hand injury. We'll talk about that later on and how it's affected his game.
Another jump ball possession to UNLV. There is the head coach for Colorado State, Tim Miles, in his 4th season. But what he's done we'll tell you about coming up in just a few minutes. But he has got this program headed in the right direction.
And people in Fort Collins excited about it.
They should be. They've got BYU coming to their place on Saturday, and they're expecting a big crowd to support the Rams.
I'd pay to be there.
I'm actually, fortunately, going to get paid to be there, which is even better. Belfield, the triple, spins out. Oh, the putback is there. Nobody boxed out Anthony Marshall. Somebody missed an assignment there, so an easy 2 for Marshall, the sophomore from right here in Vegas.
Good job by Nygon. Coming back to post up against the press. Notice a man-to-man press, not his own press. And this is a little softer than normal. Trust me, they'll turn up the heat later on.
Ogaday from 18, swish. Andy Ogaday. Doesn't often shoot it from the outside, but the stroke looked good that time.
The stroke actually looks better there than at the free throw line, where he's only at 52%. That's probably the reason Bryce Masamba was sitting off him.
Masamba, that's offensive. Nice job by Nygon to be fearless and take the contact from Masamba.
You're 100% correct, Ari. Great job by Nygon in the help side defense position. Watch him come across, establish position, gives up his body, because Masamba's a big guy to take the buck from.
Nice pass to Ogaday, and he'll finish. Beautiful assist from Dorian Green. The last time Colorado State played in this building, they lost in the tournament in a controversial game against San Diego State. Andy Ogaday was ejected from that game. Well, they can find a way to get a win here. Get a lot of attention around the country. Eichmeyer. He's got help with him. The pass to Franklin, and he gets the two. Unselfish play from Eichmeyer.
You're 100% correct. Unselfish play, and the timing on the break was very good. Eichmeyer took his time. The pace was he let the big guy catch up to the play. Now, you said the last time Colorado State played in this building, they had the controversial game, but the last time they played this building against UNLV, they lost 70-39. They got something to make up for tonight.
Yeah, something to prove.
And right now, they got numbers on the break again.
Nygon wants the triple. Too strong. Belfield the rebound for UNLV. Belfield from 18. Good looking stroke there from Oscar Belfield. He averages just under 11 points a game.
What happened on that play, all the Colorado State defenders sunk to the paint and nobody guarded the ball. I'm not very smart, Ari. The guy with the ball can score. The guys without the ball can't. Somebody better stop the basketball.
And that's normally something that both these teams do well, is stop the basketball. And Nygon tried to set up Green for the three, but good hands from Jasper. UNLV's head coach done a tremendous job, not just here, but at many stops along his career. There was Lon Kruger in his 7th year. They made it to the NCAA tournament 3 of the last 4 years. And coming off a 25-win season, Coach, they basically thought they had everybody coming back. But then Kendall Wallace gets hurt, Matt Shaw gets hurt, and Trayvon Willis not playing tonight. So what they're able to do over and back, what they've been able to do to be 14-4, the same record at the exact same point a year ago, without those 3 guys is pretty amazing.
I think the credit goes to the guy wearing the coat and the tie, because his team is not nearly as talented as you said they thought they would be. It's not nearly as talented as last year's team, but he is such a good coach. He has them right in the thick of things with some big wins like over teams like Wisconsin and Kansas State when they were nationally ranked.
Yeah, no, they played a tough non-conference schedule. That's part of why their RPI is at 20. Jasper going to work on Greg Smith. Yeah, that's a travel. We have our first break in the action. UNLV with 4 early turnovers. And Colorado State able to capitalize here. They get the turnover. Eichmeyer out on the break. And like Coach said, he waits for the finish. Good start here in Vegas. Strip in Las Vegas. You see Caesar's Palace in the background. Now, Tim Miles, very personable guy. I asked him, what does he like the most about his team so far this year?
I like our guys that they've persevered. You know, we've gotten down, haven't quit, found ways to get back and be competitive, win games from behind, and get back in games that it feels like we have no right getting back into. And they've shown a lot of perseverance, a lot of resilience, despite the coaching.
And funny there at the end, because, Coach, you know, I started the thing, I said, what do you like about your team besides the fact that you're the head coach? But look at the steady improvement under Coach Miles and what he's done at a place that's not easy to win at Colorado State.
No, I was the assistant there from 80 to 82. And Colorado State, because of admission standards and the fact that you're in a state demographically doesn't have a lot of great players, it's a tough place to make the thing a winner. He's done that. He's a winner. His team is headed in that direction.
And he's an even better guy than he is a basketball coach. Now, that RPI of 59 is the highest it's been since he's been there. And, boy, you know, if they can continue to win at home and then get some road wins, that RPI should continue to climb because of the overall strength of the RPI of the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, which is much higher than it has been in the past.
Yes. A lot of teams really went out of their way to play some tough non-conference opponents, and it pays dividends in the RPI.
I like what Coach Miles just did then with Ogaday, having him come up to set up what I call a high rub screen to free up some of that pressure.
Ogaday, couple chances, and Ogaday, second effort, gets it to go.
Well, Ogaday's a very good offensive rebounder. You got to put a white jersey on his green jersey to keep him away.
Quintrell Thomas in the game right now. He wears number 1 for UNLV. He's a transfer from Kansas. I've noticed with Ogade, he does much better when he doesn't have to have a defender who's taller than him. When he can look eye to eye at his defender, he seems to flourish. Against New Mexico, I thought Alex Kirk really troubled him with his size in the paint.
The size and length. The defenders for UNLV are not that long.
Stand back. Nice move along the baseline.
Stand back doing what he needs to do with Willis out of the game. He needs to, now, with missing a player like Willis, not one man on the team is going to make up for Willis. Everybody's got to pitch in and play 5 to 10% better. And Lon has to coach 5 to 10% better.
Take another look at Chase Stanback.
See the drive along the baseline. Hornung was a little concerned about him taking the middle and gave up the baseline, and the help didn't come over fast. Remember earlier in the game, Nigon came over fast and took the charge. That time the weak side help didn't get over to take the bump.
Smith on the baseline, good defense. Ogade pump fake, now from 13 feet. Yes, Andy Ogade's got 8 early points. Ogade averages 15 points per game.
We talked in the open about the three-headed center for UNLV. They've got 15 fouls to use because they rotate those 3 players. They need to use some of those fouls right now on Ogade.
Well, Marshall slipped. It will remain UNLV basketball. Is knocked out of bounds by Colorado State. Tim Miles going to his bench here early. He's now got Jesse Carr in the game. He's already got Pierce Hornung in the game and Greg Smith. Travis Franklin back into the game and Hornung to the bench.
Well, both teams have good depth. And that's one of the places that Tim Miles' staff has done a great job recruiting to lengthen their bench.
And he's found great role players. One of the things I appreciate about the guys he's recruited, guys who don't need a lot of shots and guys who are very interested in just staying within the team concept. Good extra passing. Hawkins into the lane, tough shot, no. Hawkins, second effort, no. And Greg Smith the rebound.
Well, you're talking about guys that understand the role. Greg Smith is a great example. He played more minutes last year. Why is he playing less this year? Did his game diminish? No. They've helped themselves with other players that are recruited that are better, so he plays a role now.
Travis Franklin going to work. I mean, he's great at creating his own shot, facing the basket and finding ways to get to the bucket. 14-6 Colorado State. Bellfield's 3. They need it. He can't deliver. Ogade the rebound.
Belfield was shooting over 50% from the 3 in the non-conference period, but since he injured that right hand, I actually saw him at lunch today, and he said to me, Coach, the right hand, it just affects my jumper a little bit. And if you notice in conference play, he's shooting under 30% from the 3. Here's that pressure we talked about. See, Jesse Carr looks like a deer in headlights right now.
Goes to the ground. Smith into the lane. Kick it out. Green's 3. Oh, that's way off. Hawkins the rebound. With the defense, you could sense the intensity that trip for UNLV as they really bothered Colorado State.
And when they sense the fear, they're like a shark to blood.
Belfield. I'm not sure he's going to get an assist on that one, but Thomas, it was almost like an alley-oop, and he gets the easy 2. We are in Vegas. Maybe he will get an assist then. Little home scorekeeper. Jesse Carr, you talk about a role player. He came off the bench the other night against TCU and had all 10 of his points in the second half. Franklin misses the free throw line jumper.
That's not Franklin's game. His game is getting to the cup. Tim Miles told me that Franklin only needs 1 class to graduate. He's taking it right now, so he's going to spend some extra time teaching him how to shoot the ball.
He's become a much better free throw shooter. Give the guy credit. He was a gym rat last year in the summer because he went from a 54% free throw shooter to a 74% free throw shooter. So he's not scared to do the work. Stanback just inside the 3-point line, drills the jumper. Stanback leads UNLV in scoring at just about 12.5 points per game. He's got 5 so far tonight.
Well, he was a 3rd-team all-conference player a year ago. He needed to step up his production this year, and it hasn't gone up. It's remained steady. That's one of the reasons that UNLV isn't quite as good as they would have hoped to be.
Jesse Carr really being hounded over there. It will remain Colorado State basketball, but we will take a break. 11:42 to go in the first half. Colorado State, good early play on the road. They lead 14. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Colorado State on top of UNLV 14-10 right now. The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by RE/MAX. The sign you want, the agent you need. Utah wins at home over New Mexico by 10. San Diego State only a 4-point lead at home against Air Force, and BYU last night a win against TCU. What do you think about that Utah win against New Mexico, Coach?
Surprises the heck out of me. You know, you could say right now that UNM, New Mexico, may be the team that's struggling the most in terms of what they're producing versus what people thought they would do. Let's go to the BYU game last night. We always talk about Jimmer Fredette, but the star of last night's game was the other guard. On Jackson Emery night, Jackson Emery was a star.
Well, there's a Utah fan. He's got the Kyle Korver jersey on right there. He's got to get an updated jersey.
He's darn right he does.
Yes, he does. Well, maybe he's a real Jazz fan. Maybe he doesn't want to update. He wants to remember his time as a fan of Kyle Korver when he was with the Jazz. Eichmeyer's three, high arcing three, is short.
That was a rainbow three. We talked about the three-headed center. We've already seen Masamba and Thomas, and now Lopez is in. They have 15 fouls to give between those three men guarding Ogade, or in this case, Bell is in for Colorado State.
Marshall hits the jumper. Marshall, for a guard, to shoot 50% from the field is pretty good. Anthony Marshall, I think they think he's got a chance to be a star in the Mountain West Conference. Great athletes, got good leadership qualities, hard worker, and here he is on cue. Had the steal, but wasn't for the official. He'd have taken that down and dunked. The official was a part of play, but the official didn't stop him.
Well, I'm not evaluating Dick Cartmill's quickness, the official, but I'll tell you what, Dick's lateral movement is suspect here.
Well, maybe I put too much on him there.
You blamed the official, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, my bad.
But to go back to what happened, the pressure is starting to take a toll.
Will Bell, nice pass. Franklin, easy too.
Will Bell looking like Magic Johnson, finding the open man, cutting to the hoop.
You talk about the three centers for UNLV, but what they lack is none of those three guys is an eraser back there. So when you press, they don't have a guy back there who can really alter shots once they break the press.
Well, the best shot blocker they have is the man in right now, Lopez. Lopez is one block a night, and that's not very high.
Hawkins misses Franklin the rebound. You know, the other guy who's pretty good at blocking shots is actually little Anthony Marshall. He's got 13 blocks, which is second on the team. A good hands there from Hawkins, who the coaching staff thinks he's the best instinctual defender they've got.
Back in the contest.
You know, we talk about ways teams win. Colorado State wins with field goal percentage. They're first in the Mountain West, fifth in America in field goal percentage. But conversely, UNLV, something's got to give here because they hold their opponents to 38.1% from the field, which on the other side of the coin is 13th in the nation. You got a great defensive team against a great shooting team.
Colorado State over 50% so far, so they're winning that battle. Part of why they have a 4-point lead. Nygon, that's a deep three. Count it. Adam Nygon.
And Lon Kruger's looking at Standback, who didn't come out on Nygon. He didn't read the Standback, didn't read the scout report. This is a guy that hit 7 threes against Wyoming 2 weeks ago. He likes Wednesday nights.
Adam Nygon, 33 made threes on the season, 6th in the Mountain West Conference. Belfield doesn't want the three. Lopez, well, he led with the shoulder, and that's blocked. Pierce Hornung. I really appreciated his game the other night. Hornung does a lot of nice things defensively.
You know the phrase glue guy? That's Hornung. I love him. He's a guy you want on your team as a coach.
Oh, Dorian Green almost had that one. A high arcer off the glass. Jasper will bring it up for UNLV. Stand back, sets up the jumper, and he knocks it down. He's got 7 of UNLV's 14 points thus far. Chase Standback, Jr., transferred from UCLA. They have a lot of guys on this team from high-profile Division I programs that have transferred.
I like what Coach Miles is doing here. He's actually using his 3-man, in this case Eichmeyer, to advance the ball against the defense of UNLV, allowing his guards not to have to face the high pressure of their defensive guards. Will
Bell hit that jumper, and he's not known for his scoring. Averages just a little over 3 points per game. They get some offense in different areas. Really going to help out the Rams. Belfield, they will reset. 16 on the shot clock.
Ball screen.
Belfield can get it off. Lopez, triple teamed. And Hornung the defensive rebound.
See, Lopez makes a mistake. He brings the ball down. He's 6'10". He makes himself 5'10". He makes him our size. You can't do that. Catch the ball high, keep the ball high.
Eichmeyer, the NBA three, swish. Wes Eichmeyer. And the Colorado State lead is 24-14.
What did we say one of the keys was for Colorado State? Make threes. Right now, they are making threes, and Coach Kruger is taking a timeout.
A good timeout is right now Colorado State putting together a good run, a 10-2 run for Colorado State. And the exclamation point on that was the Eichmeyer three to stretch the lead to 10. Well, we talked in the open, Coach, that this team needs a signature road win, and boy, they're coming out playing with a lot of confidence thus far.
Look at the distance between the open shooter and the defender who doesn't close out fast enough. Eichmeyer can tee it up. You have a chance to tee it up, guess what? Your name's in the newspaper.
Colorado State, you see the three-point field goal percentage. They lead the Mountain West Conference.
They make 7 threes a night. I don't have the stats right in front of me right now, but they probably got 4 already in the first 8 minutes. Again, you see the difference in the defense. This kind of soft man-to-man. What you have to do if you are...
Well, that's good help defense from Nygon.
Great play by Nygon from the weak side.
That's twice we've seen him with great help defense where he took the charge and that time he gets the steal.
Well, we talked about Hornung and what he brings to the team in terms of being a glue guy. Nygon's the same kind of player on the perimeter. Plus, he does this.
Oh, in and out for Nygon, and Hornung over the back, and he knew it right away. We take a break. Colorado State with a 10-point lead as they continue to search for their 10-point lead for Colorado State. Time for the drive to the hoop, brought to you by the most award-winning brand of 4x4s ever, Jeep. Check out the entire lineup at Jeep.com.
Well, in this case, we had Eichmeyer on the dribble drive after the steal, and a great job of setting up his partner to finish. And really what happens more of a run to the hoop than drive to the hoop. But Franklin ran the floor hard, and his teammate rewarded him with the pass.
Fans, you have a question for my man, Coach Bowinkle. During the game, post your question to the Mountains Facebook or Twitter account, and we will choose a question to answer after halftime. Here's your chance to ask the coach a question live. You see the websites listed on our screen, so get after it. Send us some questions. Put them to the test. I mean, you're coach on and off the court. I mean, I can't wait to see what they come up with.
And they can't ask me why I'm an ex-coach.
I got to feel that's what's coming in then. Anthony Marshall with the finish in traffic.
Alert air traffic control incoming.
His first personal 13.
I mean, I was more surprised than anything. I just thought there's no way he could get this done in here.
The rim was surprised. The rim did not anticipate that. But let's give Masamba some credit for the pass. The big guy making like Bill Walton, hitting the cutting perimeter player.
As we told you, he's from right here in Vegas, so when he does something good, Anthony Marshall, this place just becomes electric. He's their guy. So he converts the three-point opportunity.
Little more heat in the press now. See, they're running 2 people to take the ball out of the hands of the good ball handler.
But with that pressure, do you agree that Dorian Green is by far best suited to handle the pressure out of the guys who handle the rock?
No question. He is the best ball handler in the backcourt that Tim Miles has.
The shot clock's already at 12. They haven't even gotten inside the arc. Now they finally do. Greg Smith on the baseline. No. All out of bounds off UNLV. It'll be Colorado State basketball. Fans don't like it. Greg Smith hands it off to Green. Green.
Notice how with similar perimeter players, UNLV does a lot of switching 1 through 4. That's the reason Stanback ended up on Green. Green can't pick up his dribble unless he has a man to pass it to.
Greg Smith crossover, goes baseline. Gives to Ogaday. Thought about it, shoots it, and why not? He's got 10 points, first player in double figures.
Hey, I'm not real smart, but I'm going to ride that horse. I'm feeding in the water on that big guy. He's got 10 points already. Let's run some offense to get him more shots.
Coming off 17 and 11 against TCU. His 5th double-double of the season, and he has yet to miss a shot, Coach. He's 4 for 4. But check that, 5 for 5. Oh, and a steal by Eichmeyer.
Well, Eichmeyer learned from UNLV. He's been watching them. He said, hey, if they can steal it, I can steal it.
One thing that was interesting is everybody thinks about UNLV, they're the dominant steal team in the conference. You know, Colorado State not that far behind, less than 1 steal behind per game. UNLV at close to 9 and Colorado State at 8. Both these teams do a good job.
In a different kind of defense. UNLV does it with their pressure. Colorado State does it by getting in the passing lanes in their packed man-to-man.
Green guarded by Hawkins. Green needs some help here, Coach. Gets it to Smith. Smith pull up from 14 feet, and he gets it to go Greg Smith.
Now they trapped that ball screen. They blitzed it. That's what they're phrase for trapping it up top. And Dorian Green did a great job of not being nervous in the blitz, the trap. You got to understand, once you are trapped, you have a numerical advantage as long as you remain calm.
Marshall's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line.
So we're going to see the trap coming up here. We can freeze it right here. You see there are 2 players, and they got him trapped right there. That means there's going to be somebody open. He finds Smith right there, and there's nobody to guard him. Marshall's stuck. Who does he take? He protects the basket. Smith gets the open J.
Marshall, a 71% free throw shooter, scoring on the first one.
Got to follow through all the way. What I say is full arm extension. He short-armed it. Extend that arm all the way so the elbow is locked.
Good balanced scoring this season for UNLV with 4 players averaging in double figures. But keep in mind, if you're just joining us, Trayvon Willis will not play tonight, so someone's got to pick up those points as Willis averages 12 points per game.
Nice balance, but you wish Trayvon was getting the 19 tonight. He ought to be getting.
There were times last year where Trayvon was simply unstoppable. Ogade doesn't want the 3. You see it points off turnovers. And Colorado State really taking advantage.
Which is, you would expect it to be the other way around.
Yep. And Dorian Green kind of rushed that shot a little bit.
If I'm a football official, I'm putting my hands across and going wide right, because that missed the rim by 3 feet.
Fans enjoy that. Here at the Thomas & Mack Center. Or look alongside Dave Bullwinkle, bringing you Mountain West Conference basketball on the mountain. Colorado State looking for what for them would be their best road win of the season. That ball goes out of bounds off UNLV. Careless turnover that time from Stanback. It'll be Colorado State basketball.
But let's define good versus bad turnovers. You're right, that was a careless one, but it's a good turnover because the ball goes out of bounds, you set your defense up. Those turnovers that lead to quick baskets, those are the real bad turnovers.
In the game for the first time for Colorado State's number 5, Mo Wiltz. He has the ball right now. Now, he has the quickness to match up with the athletes from UNLV, but it's a guy who's still trying to find his way, just a true freshman, but they're very excited about him.
Nice step through, but it leads to a turnover. Notice the difference between the composure of Wiltz versus the composure of Green on the trap. There it leads to the turnover. This is called a step through. He tries to step through the seam. Good job stepping through the seam, but he loses his balance. When you step through that seam, you fake high and go low, lead with your shoulder and elbow.
Masamba, they come with the double. Makes the extra pass, Belfield to Jasper, and Jasper is bumped. That's the 15th foul on Colorado State. We take a break, 3:57 to go in the first half, and Colorado State with their largest lead of the first half. They lead by 11. People having fun on this. Blends in with the natural recognition for certain players in this conference and for the conference as a whole, because the Mountain West Conference ahead of the ACC. I mean, I think that if you were an ACC country and you saw that, you'd be staggered by that.
I'll tell you what, I was at North Carolina, Georgia Tech on Sunday night, and you know what? The Mountain West is better than the ACC. There's some bad teams in the ACC right now. And there's some very good teams in the Mountain West Conference. And I think the overall talent in this conference has made such a great jump.
Stanback, the jumper is good. Chase Stanback. He's got 9 points. Wiltz gets it to Ogade.
Good place to go. He's guarded one-on-one. Little jump hook and gets fouled.
This is the one part of his game that's a bit of an adventure, and that's the free throw line.
And that's the reason if he has a way to score in your Masamba, you should foul him. They're bad foul. We talked about bad fouls, bad turnovers and good turnovers. There are bad fouls and good fouls. This is a good foul.
Andy Ogade shoots just 52% from the free throw line. Everything else he does well.
You know what happened? Remember how bad Franklin was at the line last year? He spent all last year watching Franklin. It became contagious. What he needs to do is watch Franklin now, who's now at 72%, really improve the free throw shooting.
0 for 2. Thomas the rebound. Those free throw attempts, the first free throw attempts for Colorado State here in the first half. Largest lead was 9 points. It's currently, well, it was 11. Largest lead, now it's down to 9. Jasper in traffic, that's a travel.
You know, Jasper travels there, and you know, Jasper's had a lot of knee operations, some real difficult physical times. I wish people out there could have seen Jasper when he was a young player at Kentucky. He was a great athlete.
See, turnover margin, normally it's one of the real strengths for UNLV, but not tonight. Franklin skip pass. Nygon can't get off the 3.
You talk about a turnover margin strength for UNLV. They are 8th in American turnover margin, and right now, the way they're playing tonight, they're 9th in the Mountain West. But they can do this on the run.
Marshall is bumped, and he'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
I like the way they're attacking the rim. They're getting to the basket, getting fouled, building the foul count, and have an opportunity to score at the free throw line where you cannot be guarded.
Well, Anthony Marshall described as a gym rat by the staff, a guy who's really worked hard on his free throw shooting.
Oh, he had 26 points against BYU earlier this year, where he really exploded. He gives them great scoring, whether it be off the bench or now tonight as a starter.
I want to remind everybody, Facebook and Twitter, if you have a question for Coach Bullwinkle, don't be shy. Give him a tough question, and we'll answer it after halftime. That's on Twitter or Facebook. Send us a question for Coach Bullwinkle. 2 for 2 that time, and that was a 7-point game.
And the free throw, the made free throw, gives him a great opportunity to set up the press. And now Jesse Carr's backhanding the ball. Remember how nervous he was against the press earlier.
Nygon gets it to Ogade, and he dribbles it off his foot. This is kind of a shaky time right here, Coach, because they've dominated the first half, Colorado State has. And now UNLV's got a little bit of momentum, and we're getting close to halftime.
No question. A little run, if UNLV can get it down, they don't need to get the lead before the half, but they get it down to 2 or 3, then they're starting to take back control of the game.
Belfield got Carr up in the air. Jasper on the inside, and he travels again.
See, part of the reason Jasper travels is he had the open 8-foot jumper, and he just doesn't have any confidence in his shot. He wants to get to the cup. He needs to be content to shoot the open J. If I'm UNLV, I put the pressure on Carr. Because Carr was having a hard time. There we go.
There he is, and Jasper the steal. Oh, good hustle, though, from Carr, and the ball hits off Jasper, Colorado State basketball. So Carr made the mistake, and then immediately made up for it.
Made up for it, but the mistake's getting him out of the game, and Wiltz is coming in right away. Because Coach Miles ain't no dummy. He sees how nervous Carr feels. Remember he said no stage fright? He's got stage fright. You take a look there at Jesse Carr. It looks a little bit like Opie Cunningham to me. And right now, he's like Opie in the game.
This is a good matchup there, Green and Belfield. 2 good point guards. Green a sophomore, Belfield a junior. Both have started since their freshman year. And, well, Wiltz is fouled. That's just the 15th foul for UNLV, so no free throws.
And great decision by Wiltz. He had the big guy on him, so he drove to get the foul. Sometimes you're not going to get the foul call bumping the hip unless you lower your shoulder, drive it, make the defense impede your progress, and force the official to blow the whistle.
time on the shot clock.
Got a double high ball screen.
And Tim Miles wants and gets a timeout.
By CSU.
Coming up on Ram Trucks Halftime Live, join Bill Dolman, Andrea Lloyd, and Marty Fletcher as they break down the first half and take a look at other games in the Mountain West Conference. And well, it's just shaping up to be just such a tremendous season for the Mountain West Conference. And Jesse Carr, we talked about, he was really struggling against the press. He's coming off a great second half performance against CSU, but they don't put that kind of ball pressure on you the way UNLV does.
And he had a good game in New Mexico last week on Wednesday, a game you and I had the privilege of doing. But he's just a little nervous out there right now. He was a very solid freshman player, but he got an injury and he just hasn't completely recovered from it. And Ogaday putting points on the board, doing what they need to do in the paint.
I don't think he can get enough touches. Ogaday shooting the ball beautifully in the first half.
He just needs to slow himself down on the catch. The last time in the post, he catched it and dribbled off his foot. You have to realize as a post player, when you catch the ball, the game slows down. Take your time, chin the ball, locate your defender. Here comes that high pick and roll. What do? They switch it because Thomas has good lateral movement. And another deflection, and another deflection.
And Thomas has fouled in the backcourt. That's the 17th foul for Colorado State. So Thomas will shoot the 1-and-1, and Quintrell Thomas just 51% at the free throw line.
So the key one here is making that first one so you get the second one. If he misses the second one, hey, that's not the end of the world. But you got to make the first. Otherwise, to me, it's tantamount to me missing two.
The other thing is if he can make two, they can put that full court pressure on off the made free throw.
Coach, you are on top of this.
Big guys on the bench, yep.
We talked about the three-headed center. We got one shooting the free throw and the other two on the bench. And the one on the free throw line is the most productive from a rebounding standpoint. From a rebounding standpoint, he gets a rebound every 3.2 minutes, which is much higher, for example, than Ogaday, who is amongst the league leader. He just doesn't have enough minutes on the floor.
Well, Thomas will go to the bench with 4 points. It's now just a 5-point lead for Colorado State. So the pressure starting to have an impact on Colorado State. They have not been getting good looks the last few trips. And Hornon doesn't want to bring this ball up. That's not what he does. And Wilt's able to save it, and he travels. And now you talked about the stage fright. The stage fright's happening not just to Jesse Carr, but to the entire backcourt for Colorado State.
They have to get back to the way they attacked the press earlier when they flash someone up in the middle, oftentimes being Nygon. And Nygon can handle the ball, basically being guarded by a three.
Lopez over Ogaday. It's a 3-point game.
And that is UNLV's favorite baseline out-of-bounds play against the Rams. The Rams worked on that in practice today because they said they would attack Ogaday inside, and they did it right there.
8-0 UNLV run, and this place is rocking right now. Ogaday back to Wiltz. Colorado State's got to get their composure and get a decent shot, and Wiltz is almost picked. So the foul is going to be on Belfield, team foul number 6.
I think one of the things you'll see now in the out-of-bounds play on the sideline, see that they go high and they dump it right into Lopez. Nice little left-handed jump hook. That's one thing I like about Lopez. He's a righty, but he can score over either shoulder. He's got a jump hook with both hands. Now, one of the things you'll see on the sideline here is you'll see great pressure against the Rams by UNLV, making it hard for them to get the ball in. Lopez went soft. That trap again.
Green picks up the dribble, gives to McFarland. McFarland seeing his first action here in the first half. And Dorian Green, offensive foul. Belfield takes the charge. Tim Miles is incensed at the call. That shot clock is off, 32 seconds to go in the half, but Tim Miles is furious.
Now, most coaches would go for the last shot here. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Lon Kruger, with the way the game is going, decides to attack the basket, hoping to get another turnover on the press.
CSU led 28-17, Coach. They haven't scored in almost 5.5 minutes.
They need to learn how to get to the free throw line.
Well, that's usually what Travis Franklin does best, is to use him as a slasher.
A little surprised. I thought Coach Kruger would attack and try to get another chance to press. All right, you get a little cross action and a high pick and roll coming out of it. Here comes Lopez. Let's see how they defend it. Do they trap it? Do they split it? They trapped it. Left the man open.
Belfield to tie it at the half. Short.
It's halftime here at our Mountain West Conference.
Hold on 1 second. It appears they may still have some time on the clock here. There may be a personal foul. So do not go anywhere. It says halftime, but it is not over.
There was a foul on the last play.
There was a foul before the time expired.
And that's the 7th team foul.
So Nygon will shoot the 1-and-1. Adam Nygon, terrific free throw shooter at 80%.
And they said it was after, right at the buzzer, so nobody's on the lane line. He's out there all naked. It's a lot more fun to have some people around the lane with you.
Very calm at the free throw line. And boy, did Colorado State need these points after what's transpired over the last 5.5 minutes.
And what Tim Miles is hollering at is if you look on the scoreboard here, you can see the red lights are on. Those red lights are a distraction. They should be turned off.
He's right. They should be turned off.
But you know what? I wouldn't have complained. Nygon made the first free throw. I would have left it up there. If he makes the first free throw, I'm going to let it go.
You could see the red lights right there. Looking from the back of the backboard, you could see the red lights, how they might be a distraction.
Well, let's talk about the reason the red lights are there. It's because for end of game or end of half shots, that light will indicate to you whether or not the ball is out of the hands. And oftentimes the official cannot hear the buzzer. The light is what they really look at.
Former walk-on Adam Nygon knocks down 2 free throws. And it is now officially halftime. Exciting 20 minutes of basketball. 30-25 our score at the break. Time now for Ram Trucks Halftime Live from our studios in Denver. Bill, take it away.
You got nerves of steel. The crowd, it goes wild with every play. The coach called your number. Friends call your name. Got to find a rhythm, find your game. Now's the time to be strong. So take your best shot. Take your aim.
Mountain College basketball is brought to you by Jeep, the most award-winning brand of 4x4s ever. Check out the entire lineup at Jeep.com. And by Motel 6, book online at Motel6.com. We'll leave the light on for you. Welcome back to Las Vegas at the break. Colorado State leads UNLV 30-25. Hello again, everyone. All right, Wolf alongside the coach, Dave Bowenko. And, Coach, we came in here thinking UNLV forces a lot of turnovers. They have the best turnover margin in the Mountain West Conference, but it's been a different story in the first half as UNLV has committed 11 turnovers.
No question. That's the reason the game's where it is. Now, Colorado State got a little nervous against the press the second 10 minutes of the half, but the bottom line is they have 8 turnovers. UNLV has 11. Those extra opportunities is the reason Colorado State has the lead.
If you're UNLV, they've got to come back, but they did gain some momentum. Keys to the game are brought to you by Ram, award-winning Ram trucks with a new heavy duty, make it one of the most powerful lineups in Ram history.
So let's revisit. Turnovers. They couldn't have the number of 8. That's too many against the press. They got nervous the last 10 minutes. They've got to clean that up, the Rams do. Flatten out dribble penetration. Holding UNLV to 10 points in the paint, that's a pretty good job by the Rams. On the other side, UNLV, hey, they did a good job guarding the arc. Here's a great three-point shooting team leading the conference, only makes 2 threes. Find some points in the paint, that's a big thumbs down. Only 5 points and 3 rebounds for a 3-headed center. They need more than that to get back the lead.
This conference is so tough, and I asked Colorado State head coach Tim Miles about the Mountain West Conference this season.
Well, I think it's better than ever. I think the proof's in the pudding. You look at right now, there's 3 teams in the top 20 of the RPI, 2 teams ranked in the top 10 of the country. It's a lot of fun to go in every night, and I think the middle of the pack and the lower pack's doing better than ever too. So should be fun every night out for our viewers. Should be fun every night out for the coaches and players.
And it's certainly a lot of fun for us, and really to support that, you look at the RPI ranks. I mean, San Diego State number 2 in the country, Coach. BYU at 4, UNLV at 20, and Colorado State at 59 and climbing.
That's the big thing, Colorado State at 59. That means the teams that have been traditionally in the second division, as Tim said in the soundbite, are making some noise. If I'm Lon Kruger, I like being on defense the first possession, because offense sometimes takes some time to get started. Defense starts now, right away.
Anthony Marshall picks up the personal foul. It's his second. Lon Kruger and his staff been together for a long time, had a lot of success in a lot of different places.
Well, you see Steve Henson, his assistant there, played for Lon at Kansas State, so they've been together a real long time.
Ogaday on the baseline.
Nice job of Ogaday slipping the ball screen.
Franklin, he's blocked with a foul. That's the 3rd on Marshall. So 2 quick fouls for Anthony Marshall, who played well in the first half. They're going to need him. Again, no Trayvon Willis tonight, so everybody's got to step up. They need Marshall to stay on the floor.
Especially in need of scoring. You know, he's given them a lot of points over the course of the sophomore year. That looked like a clean block.
So Franklin at the free throw line. Free throw is short.
We see Steve Henson, who was a great player at Kansas State for Coach Kruger. And one of the things that Coach Kruger said about Oscar Belfield, he would like him to play like Steve Henson with a bit of a mean streak. Steve was the boss on the floor. Sometimes Oscar's too nice.
6-point lead now for Colorado State after Franklin goes 1 for 2 at the line. Stand back, can't get off for 3. He's got Eichmeyer on him now. He's got an advantage, wants to get into the post. And they get it to him. Fade away, no good. Nygon the rebound.
Franklin doing a great job on blocking out Masamba. Masamba actually had position. Franklin got his rear end into his legs and cleared him out.
Nygon, he was trapped and tried to get the pass in the corner, the far corner to Dorian Green, but it hit part of the backboard, so we'll go over to UNLV. But Nygon's played well. It's not because he's been scoring the basketball particularly. He took a couple of great defensive assignments in the first half where he took a charge, got another steal, gotten some rebounds. He's done a lot of nice things tonight for Tim Miles' team.
Just like Horning, we said in the first half, those 2 guys are glue guys. They do a lot of things to help teams win.
Masamba working on Ogaday. Jump stop, tough shot, basket and the foul. Bryce Masamba. He doesn't take many bad shots. He shoots 61% from the field. And that time he just imposed his physical will on Andy Ogaday.
You see, he gets an angle. See, he gets the angle on the hip of Ogaday, and that allows him to get around the corner and use that little baby hook.
Good strength, though, because his body was getting pushed to his right and still had the ability to knock down the shot off the glass. So he converts the 3-point play. And it's a 3-point game, the closest UNLV has been in a long time.
They're going to run 2 people back. Here they come. If Stanback has a chance, he'll double back. Good job. Good patience by Dorian Green, letting his partner clear out so he had the one-on-one opportunity to advance the ball.
Colorado State's largest lead in the first half was 11. Nygon tracks down the loose ball. Well, bats it into Ogaday, and now UNLV turning it up on the defensive end. Stanback to tie it. No. And Masamba over the back of Ogaday.
But it may sound like I'm beating a dead horse. That's not a bad foul because they got 15 fouls in the post. Give that guy an opportunity to get an offensive rebound.
3 fouls now on Masamba. Greg Smith is coming to the game for Colorado State. Nygon goes to the bench. Eichmeyer, and he got somebody knocked it from behind him. Made another steal for UNLV.
Derek Jasper with a nice back tip, meaning when the dribbler goes by, you run from behind and try to tip the ball from behind, and Jasper did that.
Marshall, the triple, yes! Anthony Marshall ties the game at 31. He's got 12 points.
Remember the first half, Eichmeyer had the chance to tee up that 3. Nobody closed out on him. Same thing that time. You got to close out against the shooter, Marshall.
First made 3 of the night for UNLV.
Dorian Green almost shot that from Jimmer Fredette range.
Franklin gets the offensive rebound, gives to Ogaday. Offensive foul. This is the first tie in the game, Coach, since it was 2-2.
I thought you were going to say it was a 0-0.
Second personal.
You noticed how Green didn't get to the shooter. Now remember, in watching Marshall shoot, he's only 16% from the three. So maybe that was part of their plan, not to guard him. See, a lot of those ball screens don't work against this soft, packed-in man-to-man that's played by Colorado State.
Jasper back to Belfield. Plenty of time on the clock. Marshall baseline jumper. Well, that's an air ball. And Greg Smith comes away with it. Down the ground, hits it to Franklin. Both teams hustling. We've seen some bodies on the floor tonight.
And we've had two teams playing very hard. This has been an excellent basketball game.
Eichmeyer in traffic, lost the handle, gets it again to Ogade, easy two. It wasn't pretty, but Eichmeyer eventually got it to Ogade for the finish.
And a smart play by Eichmeyer. He knew he couldn't finish in there amongst the trees, so he found his own tree dressed in green. Ogade.
Ogade is 6 for 6 from the field, 12 points.
You know, the only thing better than 6 for 6 is 7 for 7.
Marshall, no. Jasper was almost looking for the highlight reel putback. Dorian Green, here we go.
Seems that he has numbers, finds the shooter on the wing.
Bang! Wes Eichmeyer with the triple.
One of the best times to shoot the three is in transition when the defense recovers the paint.
Eichmeyer's got 8 points. Colorado State has responded, 5 straight points. Belfield probes. Jasper from 16. Yes. His first points of the night.
Remember in the first half, Jasper turned it over when he tried to drive it into the paint when he had the open 8-footer. He's got to have enough confidence to shoot that mid-range shot. He's not a three-point shooter, but the mid-range shot, he's got to pull the trigger on.
Plus, it makes the defense honest. You got to at least attempt that shot. Franklin, tough shot, basket and the foul. Travis Franklin. Such a great slasher. So the Colorado State lead is 5 points. Chance to finish off the three-point play.
It's a MAC where the Rams have a 5-point lead, and part of it is three-point shooting. We talked about getting three-point shots in transition. Here we have Dorian Green bringing the ball down the floor. As we freeze it here, you'll see that you'll see that what's going to happen is all the defenders are running back into the paint to guard. As he comes, he spots his teammate. Now look how far the distance is that that's a big, has to close to get to the shooter. He's got too much time, in transition, knocks it down.
Franklin at the free throw line to try to convert the three-point play. Also of significance on the last basket from Franklin, Masamba picks up his 4th personal foul. Now keep in mind, they got 3 centers. You talked about using all 15 fouls, but Masamba's already got 4.
Interesting stat, Ari. They get 7.2 fouls a game out of those 3 players.
Will Bell with the offensive rebound, and Franklin gets the putback.
Smart play by Franklin. He's not a great shooter, so he used the backboard. That makes it easier.
Franklin's got 11 points. Lead back to 7. It felt like UNLV worked so hard to tie it. This 3, no. Thomas will kick it out to Hawkins. Fresh shot clock. They'll reset.
Great job by Thomas on the weak side board there. He was screened out by Bell, so he pinned Bell under the basket. Anything that came long, he had it.
Out of the 3 guys, I've been most impressed by Thomas at the center position. Oh, Franklin the steal, and he does that well. 6th in the conference. And he'll get to the rim and get the 2, Travis Franklin. He's got 13.
If you're Colorado State, we said no stage fright, you also have to weather the storms because the game is played in peaks and valleys with spurts by UNLV, and they've done a great job of weathering the storm.
Belfield. He was bummed. I'm curious to see whether they're going to give him shots here. Yep, they're going to give him 2 shots. Keep in mind, Colorado State got off to the great start in the first half, and then UNLV kind of wore them down towards the end of the first half. We'll see if Colorado State can maintain their composure, because you know there are going to be some runs coming for UNLV.
You're 100% correct. They play that way. That's what they do with their defense. Now, the one thing, though, that's working in Colorado State's favor right now, the longer they stay with the lead in this game, playing in this hostile environment, the more confidence they get.
Well, since the game was tied, An 11-3 run for Colorado State. And it stays an 11-3 run as that free throw halfway down and it pops out.
Good job blocking out by Franklin to keep Jasper off of the offensive rebound opportunity.
Jesse Carr really had problems in the first half, turns it over again. Showtime. Anthony Marshall.
And I hate to sound negative, but Coach Miles can't get Carr out fast enough. He just isn't comfortable against this kind of pressure.
Franklin goes to work, sets up Carr for the three. That might build some confidence for him.
Now that he does well. He does not handle it well against pressure, but he definitely can step up and knock down the three.
I wish we would have had a camera on Coach Miles, the smile on his face, because they were planning on pulling him out of the game had there been a whistle. And then Carr hits the three, and Coach was beaming from ear to ear.
Well, I think part of the reason is, Ari, that he roots for his players. Of course. I mean, he's a, you know, you hear the phrase players coach. He's definitely a players coach. He roots for his players.
That foul is critical right here because this guy right here, Anthony Marshall, who gets the steal and the dunk, he just picked up his fourth foul, Coach, and he's arguably been their best player tonight. So Marshall and Masamba both with 4 personal fouls, and this is a team that already lacks depth. Some guys are going to have to dig deep here in the second half for Lon Kruger.
And despite making the three, Carr is out and Nygon is in because he is more poised against the press. They switch that ball screen. They have such mobile big guys. Thomas can step out and switch it.
That was a pretty impressive switch by Thomas out there. Nygon, an NBA three. No. Stand back the rebound.
Yeah, but I don't call that an NBA three. I call that a Fredette three.
Adam Nygon picks up the foul.
Did you see how far out last night Jimmer Fredette was when he made that 1-3? He was at the M at the Marriott Center.
It was about 30, 31 feet.
Oh. If he's playing in Provo, you got to guard him in Salt Lake.
Hawkins, the triple, short. Thomas is fouled. I've liked Thomas. I think that he's sort of acclimated himself against Colorado State, the best of the 3 centers.
Well, he started earlier in the year. You know, Coach Kruger's kind of just rotated who was playing best in practice. They get the starting nod.
Hornung picks up his second personal. Take a look at the standings in the Mountain West Conference. At San Diego State, 5-0, 20-0 on the season. They won tonight against Air Force. BYU still perfect in conference play. Setting up a big showdown next week between the Aztecs and the Cougars. And boy, Colorado State, they get a win here, 3-1. And then having BYU coming to their place for a whiteout on Saturday night. Fort Collins can be pretty fired up on Saturday.
Well, you know, the team's really come around over the 4 years that Coach Miles has been there. It's now time to step up, and the fans need to get behind it.
Yes.
I'd pay to watch that game, and you said you get to do it.
I do get to do it. Looking forward to it.
You ought to make a contribution just to be there of some sort.
Ogaday. Too strong. Smith's tap, no good. Ball out of bounds off UNLV.
Now, that doesn't go down as anything for Smith, but Smith kept that ball alive, and because it kept being alive, it went out of bounds off a white jersey.
Well, if anybody was listening to Colorado State TCU game, I think that he's just, Greg Smith, just good things happen when he's in the ballgame. Nice pass to Pierce Hornung. Terrific inbounds play.
Very good job in inbounds play. Horning screened and slipped to the basket. Nobody picked up the slip man.
The lead back to 10. Everyone talks about how Colorado State always plays great on the road till the end. Tonight, can they find a way to finish? Foul on the floor, and we are going to take a break. 11:55 to go in the second half. Colorado State looking for that signature road win. They lead by 10 right now. Colorado State leads UNLV 47-37, 11:55 to go second half. Out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by RE/MAX, the sign you want, the agent you need. Utah wins at home tonight against New Mexico. Air Force gave San Diego State a challenge, but San Diego State remains unbeaten at 20-0, and BYU last night defeats TCU at home to stay perfect in conference play. But San Diego State now just one of 3 unbeatens left in America.
And they are in heavy company with Ohio State, Kansas, and San Diego State. And I've seen Ohio State and Kansas both play in person. You know what? San Diego State can play right with them.
I'm so fascinated by San Diego State in matchups with schools outside of the Mountain West Conference. It's like I can't wait for March already as Belfield hits the jumper.
We got a long way to go to March. This is the second season. That's the third season.
Yes, indeed, Coach. Yes, indeed. Eichmeyer handling the point right now. Dorian Green gets a breather. Ogaday wants it. Eichmeyer right now can't seem to get it to him. Tough shot from Eichmeyer. No. Tip, no good from Smith. Second tip is good from Greg Smith.
Greg Smith gave this team a great lift in the last 5 minutes of the first half against Wyoming 2 weeks ago. He's doing the same thing tonight. Off the bench, he's great energy on the glass and tips and points.
Second half, Colorado State 8 of 12 from the field. Hawkins, the three, yes! Justin Hawkins. Doesn't shoot many threes, doesn't make many threes, but he gets it that time. Shooting just 21% from beyond the arc. Fans back into it. The Rebels trail by 7. Eichmeyer stumbles a bit, gets in the lane, hands it off, and a foul. Smith will go to the free throw line. Now, you mentioned Greg Smith. Last game, Coach, what I loved about him is he does so many different things, and now we're going back to UNLV.
Okay, let's talk a minute here. This is called baseline drive, baseline drift. Freeze it. You see the drive on the baseline, and a lot of teams play this way because this defense is coming over. He's going to drift and get that pass and get his name in the newspaper.
Smith hits the free throw. I want to talk about his numbers from the TCU game. Greg Smith, in 17 minutes, had 7 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, which was a career high, and 3 steals, which tied a career high, all in just 17 minutes off the bench.
And I saw him play it well against Wyoming. You and I had him a week ago tonight at New Mexico. He played well. He's really been, you could actually make an argument for him being 6th man of the year.
Yes. Lead back to 9. Good skip pass. Thomas, the jumper, count it. He's played well tonight. He's got 7 points. Now halfway through the second half, Dorian Green, he's stripped. It's gonna be UNLV basketball. Now, the defense for UNLV has been so good. In their last 3 games, teams are only averaging 52 points against them. Colorado State already with 51, so you got to give Colorado State some credit, especially doing it here in Vegas' home building.
And part of the way they've done it is turn the tables on UNLV. They've scored off of turnovers.
They certainly have. Belfield trying to create contact, and he gets the 2 with the soft touch. Belfield's got 7.
And yes, it's down to 5, but you can feel the crowd getting behind the Rebels.
And Hawkins gets called for the foul. And Eichmeyer was in trouble right there. He kind of lost his balance. So already, here we are, Coach, 9:32 to go in the game, and it's bonus time for Colorado State. Now, as a free throw shooting team, not a strength of Tim Miles' team. 67%, dead last in the Mountain West Conference.
Well, we've got 2 bad free throw shooting teams here. We got 8 and 9. But the good thing about Colorado State is they got a good free throw shooter at the line right now in Eichmeyer, who's 84-4. The thing that hurts Colorado State's free throw shooting is everybody's pretty good, but Ogaday has taken so many, is only at 52.
Eichmeyer hits the front end of the one-on-one, 84% on the season. He is 28 of 32 at the free throw line. Redshirt sophomore who transferred from Iowa State. Now, what do you think about this, Coach? Lon Kruger going to Anthony Marshall with 4 fouls and 9:32 to go.
It's all dependent upon how confident you are about him playing smart with the foul situation. Now, if I'm Coach Miles, I attack Anthony Marshall, not because I want him to get foul number 5, rather because he's going to concede a basket to stay on the floor.
Excellent
Oftentimes
point.
people think you want to get the guy's 5th foul. No, I want him to stay out there because he won't guard. The key for Lon Kruger is how well Marshall can play defensively, okay? and not be soft and still stay in the game.
Eichmeyer now in double figures. He's got 10. He averages just under 10 points per game. Seems like every time UNLV gets it close, Colorado State's been able to respond. 3 from the corner, no good. Ogade the rebound.
And a nice move on the timeout. Coach Miles went into the 2-3 zone. And he was soft on the young man, Masur, in the right corner, who hasn't played very much. The freshman doesn't have many minutes under his belt.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. Franklin. Tough shot. No. Marshall saves it, throws it off of Smith. Running Rebels basketball.
Tell you what, the official Bob Staffen held his ground right in that play. He got bumped by those 2 big bodies, but he was going to make sure he still had the best vantage point to make the proper call. You see the 2-3 zone, where the 2-3 zone is susceptible is in the elbow area and the gaps on the edge. You can see right there, Hawkins in the high post. You want to try to get him in the high post by that elbow. The elbow is where the lane line meets the free throw line. Looks like an elbow. You know, it's coaching, we're not real smart.
Hawkins gonna back it out. Now they gotta worry about the clock a little bit. Masur goes baseline and he's fouled.
With Masur in the game, it gives Coach Miles a player he doesn't have to aggressively guard because Masur has not played many minutes. And in the case of Masur, the young freshman, now he's got to, what I say, earn his scholarship.
A true freshman appearing in just his 8th game of the season.
3 of 8 here on the season, now 3 of 9.
The last foul was on Andy Ogade. He's got 3.
And if I was Coach Miles, I'd pull Ogade right now because you've got 16 seconds of the media timeout. Give him a quick breather so he doesn't get what I call a fatigue foul.
And Masur goes 0 for 2 at the line. Finds Green, deep triple. No, Thomas the rebound.
Remember I said Thomas on a rebound per minute basis is the best defensive rebounder on this floor.
Hawkins, he stepped into that jumper beautifully. He's got 5 points, and it's a 5-point game. Nygon into the paint, stolen away. Marshall on the break, looking for Hawkins. The bounce pass, and a foul on Smith. Hawkins will shoot free throws when we come back. This has been a great game. Do not go anywhere. End-to-end action as both these teams battling for their 3rd win in conference play. And we are going to send it to Denver and check in. Time for the Drive to the Hoop, brought to you by the most award-winning brand of 4x4s ever, Jeep. Check out the entire lineup at Jeep.com.
We've got Franklin, what he does best is drive, and I love this change of gears. You like players with a change of gears. He slowed down, and then he put the pedal to the metal, and he got to the rim and finished strong.
All right, Coach, 7:31 to go in the game. We always talk about Colorado State and their inability to finish tough games on the road. What do they need to do down the stretch to hold off the running Rebels?
Well, they've got to maintain their poise against the press, and we've talked all night long. They got to remember who's scoring for us. That means they got to get inside touches. They got to get to the free throw line because they're already in the bonus and almost the double bonus. Get touches for Ogade, handle the press, get to the line.
How about for UNLV? What do they need to do to get over the hump? They've tied the game, but they haven't been able to take the lead.
Turn up the pressure. Drive the ball to the basket and turn up the defensive pressure in a full court.
Hawkins to shoot 2. 69% free throw shooter. First one is good for the sophomore from Los Angeles. Rebels are now 9 of 15 from the free throw line as a team. Colorado State 7 for 11.
And the turnover margin is starting to turn, Ari. Now the team with the most turnovers is Colorado State. That's part of the way the Rebels will get back in this game.
3-point game. Ogaday. Matched up on Thomas, going one-on-one. Help comes, Ogaday, yes, off the window. And that quiets the crowd. Ogaday's got 16 points.
I still like this move to the 2-3 zone, and part of it is because Dorian Green has had to play a lot of minutes handling the ball against tough pressure.
Oh, the block by Nygon on standback, but Rebels keep it. Hawkins is open in the corner. Belfield to Hawkins. Hawkins is fouled and will shoot 2.
I want to go back to what I was saying about Dorian Green and the number of minutes he's played. Because of Carr's inability to handle the pressure, Carr hasn't been able to spell Green as much as Coach Miles would like. Green's got a lot of minutes in him. Will he be strong down the stretch?
Andy Ogaday now has 4 personal fouls. And Pierce Hornung is going to come in after the first free throw attempt. Free throw no good. This copyrighted telecast of the Mountain West Conference is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use or dissemination of this telecast with the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Mountain West Conference is prohibited.
So we talked about 2 bad free throw shooting teams. With that miss, the Running Rebels are 8 of 15. You got to score where you're not guarded.
0 for 2, back tap. Running Rebels basketball. On the pass through the hands of Quintrell Thomas.
Well, that was zipped so hard by Belfield. You need a first baseman's mitt to grab that one. You got to know who you're passing to, and sometimes you got to take a little bit of the mustard off the ball. But they get a chance to put their press on. Look at them running somebody back at him. They get a chance. Smart move by Eichmeyer, taking his time and letting the other defenders clear out.
And then you pull up from 16 and drill the jumper.
Let's remember, this guy transferred to the Big 12. He's played in big ball games.
He's got a dozen. And a steal by the Rams. Franklin's got Eichmeyer if he wants it.
Smart play by Smith. That's an intelligent, unselfish basketball play.
Now less than 6 minutes to go. Inside to Franklin. Offensive rebound, put back basket, and the foul. Travis Franklin.
Great job of Franklin using his off left hand and the rim in the net to protect the ball from the shot blocker.
And then again, though, no eraser back there to block shots for UNLV.
Yeah, they're not a good shot blocking team. You see how he uses the rim, and Hornung screened out the other player from UNLV so the man on the ball side, on the rim side, couldn't get to it. Let's see if Franklin demonstrates his improved stroke at the line. And he does.
Yeah, 16 points now. Ogaday and Franklin both with 16. We talked about how they need to have those guys produce, and they produced tonight.
No question. And one of the things the Rams have to do at this point is keep playing basketball. Not look at the scoreboard, rather play the game.
Jasper is fouled.
You start scoreboard watching, thinking, oh, we're up 10. Now look, how can we hang it? No, just keep playing basketball.
A 7-0 run for Colorado State over the last minute and 50 seconds. Now, that was the 10th team foul on Colorado State, so Jasper will get 2 in the double bonus, and Jasper just a 57% free throw shooter.
And under 50 on his career.
Wasn't pretty good on the first one.
But you see, he kind of aims the ball.
Yeah.
He doesn't shoot. There's no fluidity to his shot.
Masamba back in there with 4 fouls. So Marshall and Masamba both on the floor for Lon Kruger, and both have 4 personal fouls.
Now, the 4 fouls with Marshall's a factor. The 4 fouls with Masamba's not, because of the 3-headed center.
Well, Jasper goes 2 for 2, and they needed him. It's an 8-point game.
I call those senior free throws. He's a 5th-year senior. He stepped up and made them in the clutch. There's a double coming. Nice use of the retreat dribble to pull the ball back by Green.
I love how Franklin shows himself to make it an easy pass for Dorian Green.
Comes with 10 fingers, palms up, and 10 fingers up in the air, palms to the ball.
Franklin now leads all scorers with 18 points. Belfield, the long three. Short. Hornung the rebound.
And the 2-3 zone has really slowed down the running Rebels. A great spot to use it. Really good coaching move by Coach Miles. Bad place to pick up your dribble on the baseline.
Franklin there to help out his teammate. Got to get the ball to Franklin again. He is hot right now.
But not there.
No. Pass to Hornung. Shot clock. Franklin's got to create off the dribble. In traffic, no good. Hornung, put back, yes. Doing the little things. Here's Hornung, and the lead is a dozen. The largest lead of the night.
Stand back, broke down defensively, and when Chase didn't move his feet, Franklin got to the rim. When Franklin got to the rim, help side had to come. Help side couldn't block out Hornung. Hornung got a basket.
Stand back long on the three. Dorian Green the rebound. Smith is with him. The pass to Smith. Basket and the foul. Greg Smith, and the Rams bench erupts.
Up 14, going to the line, 4:04 to go. Nice pass, good job by Smith. You can see Jasper coming across his face.
We see a lot of people heading for the exit. Not much faith that the Rebels can come back.
Now, I disagree with the fans headed for the exit.
I agree. Well, plus, it's fun to watch. I wouldn't leave.
Well, it's a good basketball game. The Rebels are a good team, and how do they score? They score off their press. If they can press and get back into it, into the press itself, they can get back into the ball game.
Belfield's three, no. Put back dunk or stand back. He now has 10 points, his first points of the second half. And you talked about how important it is for stand back to score. And those are his first points of the second half.
No question.
All right, we will take a break. Colorado State, welcome back. 3 minutes, 44 seconds to go in the game. Colorado State, 66, UNLV, 54. Some of the fans have left the Thomas and Mack Center as Colorado State has withstood several rallies from UNLV, and it's time for the 6 men of the game, brought to you by Motel 6, official economy lodging partner of basketball fans everywhere. And it's Quintrell Thomas off the bench for the Rebels.
Done a great job rebounding as well as scoring, gave them big minutes. Great job there by Hornung running the baseline to get a better passing angle against the press, and you can see the pressure come up.
Eichmeyer through traffic to Franklin, basket and the foul. I don't know how many times they've got the basket and one tonight, but it feels like at least a half a dozen.
The old-fashioned end-one opportunities, and Franklin has made them pay at the line.
Franklin's got 20 points, and they are on the verge of a big-time win at UNLV. The lead is 4. Great Clips. Visit greatclips.com or call 1-800-GREAT-CLIPS for a salon near you. Great Clips, relax, you're at Great Clips. So Franklin at the line, trying to convert the three-point play. Trying to make it a 15-point lead. Franklin's got 21 points, and the lead is 15. Jasper, he's fouled. You got to like that foul there, Coach, because even though Jasper hit his last two at the free throw line, don't give him a dunk and get some momentum for UNLV, force them to earn it at the stripe.
But we're getting close to the point where you got enough points to win where you just as soon have the clock keep going. Not let them score when the clock's dead and when they put their press on.
Free throw is short for Jasper. For 2 at the line. Stand back, though. Gets the offensive rebound. They need points in a hurry. Stand back jumper, count it. 13-point lead for Colorado State. Nope, they tried to get the timeout, but it's a 5-second violation. All right, we told you in the first half we were going to have a Facebook or Twitter question. I posed this to you, Coach Bullwinkle. Can the Rams make the dance without winning the conference tournament?
And the answer is yes. And the reason is this conference is going to get 3, maybe 4 teams. If they win tonight, guess what? You got BYU, you got San Diego State, with New Mexico not playing well. Right now, third best team, Colorado State.
Travis Franklin. But now it's Hawkins. He's short. Put back, no. Going to be a foul against Colorado State. Colorado State leads by 13, but I can tell by looking at Tim Miles there's still some anxiety over there because his team's had chances to win big road games and hasn't been able to finish.
This game is nowhere near over. Nowhere near over. Coach Miles has got a guy just fouled out. He's got some situations where he's got to get some players back in, some new players. They're not a good free throw shooting team. Remember, they're 8th in the conference in free throw shooting. Excuse me, 9th in the conference in free throw shooting.
So Hornung fouls out. He'll go to the bench. 2 minutes, 53 seconds to go in the game.
And Hornung fouling out means bad free throw shooter Ogade in the game.
Free throw is good for Stanback. Tell us how to finish a game, Coach.
You got to make clutch free throws. Colorado State's going to have to do that. You got to be strong with the ball against the pressure. Understand where the possession arrow is also. No foolish fouls and know the score and clock situations. Colorado State with 2:53 doesn't have enough points to win the game yet. They're up by 11, but they're getting close to the point where the opponent is the clock and not the Rebels.
Belfield commits a foul. Both teams in the double bonus the rest of the way. So Eichmeyer, terrific free throw shooter, best free throw shooter on the team, gets to shoot 2. So if you're Lon Kruger and the Rebels and you're going to start fouling to extend the game, this is not the guy you want to send to the line.
Now that was a mistake made defensively the other end because they wanted to put the press on. They're not in a position to foul right away right now. They want to force some turnovers with the press.
Eichmeyer's now got 14 points. Boy, he's been huge tonight for the Rams.
And I know I'm beating a dead horse. I want to go back to what I said about the coaching move Coach Miles made going to the zone. Really made a difference.
Dorian Green the rebound, and they got a jump ball possession to UNLV.
So now what Colorado State's got to remember is next time there's a whole lot of pressure or somebody's on me, let him grab the ball because we keep the possession because the arrow's in our favor now. That's part of understanding clock and situations.
Marshall's 3, they need it. Short. Franklin the rebound. Last year they would have wanted to foul Franklin right away, but he's a much improved free throw shooter.
Remember, this is a team in UNLV that's 8th in the Mountain West in three-point percentage. They're not a good long-range shooting team. They should drive the ball to the basket right now.
Eichmeyer offensive foul. Didn't need to do it. There was plenty of time on the shot clock.
You're 100% correct, Ari. Needed to pull that thing out. You don't know when to push it and when to pull it. 2:16 to go, up by 13. You don't need the points. Right now, Colorado State has reached the juncture in the game where the opponent is not the Rebels, the opponent's the clock. Keep it ticking.
Belfield drives, and he's fouled. He'll shoot 2 in the double bonus.
See, and Belfield had nowhere to go to that drive. He wasn't going on a straight line to the basket. He was going on a straight line to the R in Rebel on the baseline. He did not have a good shot. Let him drive the ball out of bounds.
Belfield is a guy who does so many different things for the running Rebels. #1 in minutes, #1 in assists, tied for 3rd for steals, one of their leading scorers. One for 2. Ogade the rebound. They should foul him, and they do.
Jasper heard you. He grabbed him right away. Part of that's a 5th-year senior that's been around a little bit. He knows situational basketball, and that is if a 52% free throw shooter gets the ball, foul him. If Eichmeyer gets the ball, defend him.
Ogade 0 for 2 at the free throw line tonight. He does have 16 points on 8 of 9 shooting from the field. He also has 7 rebounds. Pure stroke that time, the lead up to 13.
One of the problems with Ogeday's free throw, look at what I call his T hand, the left hand. It's like slightly on top of the ball. You see where it is there on top of the ball? That causes a bad rotation on his free throw. I call it the T hand because just like a T in golf, that offhand just holds the ball in place. It has nothing to do with the direction.
Franklin and Ogeday have combined for 38 points. Standback will drive. It's going to be 2 shots for Standback.
And Ogeday is gone. Remember when we said no foolish fouls? Ogeday just backed out of there. It was more important that he stay in the game than he contest the shot by Standback. Because remember, the Rams have enough points to win as long as they play smart.
Well, then maybe it's not such a bad thing because he's a bad free throw shooter. So now he's off the floor. If you think they have enough points to win, then maybe it's not that important for Ogeday to be out.
But you still need him on the defensive glass. Okay. That's what you need. Now, you might get to the point where we're making offense-defensive substitutions.
Right. I love talking basketball with you, Coach. I like the fire, the passion. We should have a camera on you the whole time. Get that look in your eyes. Now, Ogeday had a terrific night, 18 points, and he only missed 1 shot from the field.
Well, he comes in here shooting 58% from the field. 16th in America. He showed why.
Masur comes back into the game. Belfield to the bench.
See, I like the substitution on the second free throw. That gives him a chance to set the press up. Colorado State just can't run the ball inbounds right away. Now they've changed the press. It's a zone where they trapped it. Dorian Green needs to pull it out and run clock. Ooh, be careful on that pass. It's parallel to the baseline. Those get intercepted. They go for touchdowns. They're like a pick 6.
What about fouling here, Coach? They're letting a lot of time come off the clock.
If you're going to foul, you foul early in the shot clock, not late. You're under 15 now. Play out the possession.
Now Colorado State needs to look to score, and it's Franklin, and he's fouled. So Franklin, who leads all scorers with 20 points. It's the 10th time in Franklin's career he's gone for 20 or more points. And he gets going with his slashing ability. See Trayvon Willis unable to help his teammates tonight, dealing with a knee injury, and they desperately need to get him back and healthy.
You know how he has to learn to help the team in this situation? He's got to be like another coach on the bench. He's got to be coaching his teammates. That's a 5th-year senior. He's been through this. He's got to help everybody else.
Franklin's soft touch at the free throw line. Belfield back in. Jasper to the bench.
Notice how he accentuates the follow-through, putting those 2 fingers into the cookie jar, as coaches say. Up 14, a minute 23. The enemy is the clock. Play smart.
Stand back, the jumper short. Franklin the rebound, and it appears now that UNLV has resigned themselves that they're not going to win this basketball game.
You have to foul right away in this situation, or, like you said, they've raised the right flag.
Well, the injury's catching up a little bit to the running Rebels, who are going to fall to 14-5 and 2-3 in conference play. Colorado State, on the other hand, is suddenly going to be 13-5 and 3-1 in conference play.
And we talked about Colorado State's RPI being at 59 and how it's climbed. Think of how it's going to jump now, because this is a running Rebel team that they just beat, who has already beaten teams like Kansas State and Wisconsin.
And the Rebels, 20th RPI, 20th in the country, and playing at home. This would be a real quality win for Colorado State.
I would venture a guess, if you went to the computer tomorrow and looked up RPIs after tonight's action, this is going to jump Colorado State into the mid-40s.
Well, since I've got their game on Saturday, I will have the game notes handy. I'm guessing probably about 36 hours from now, and I'm sure that will be documented in there.
Let's talk about Saturday a minute, and let's talk about people in Fort Collins. Now, I had the privilege of coaching there one time. Those are great people. It's a great town. They need to come out and support this team.
Foul's on number 20.
Mountain College basketball has been brought to you by Ram. Award-winning Ram trucks plus a new heavy duty make it one of the most powerful lineups in Ram history. And by America First Credit Union, where members come first. And by Remax, the sign you want, the agent you need. Our producer, is also our coordinating producer at the network, Brian Mitchell, finding a way to get every single element into the game tonight. Job well done in the truck. It is to be expected with the fine people we work with, the Mountain Network. Franklin 1 for 2 there. The lead is 17.
But
Franklin's got 24.
But I would say this, Ari. The truck was good. Colorado State was better.
They may have been better. I think that's fair. Well, the putback done. Masur showing some athleticism. Shot clock is off. And Coach Miles said no shots. This is like victory formation in football. This is take a knee time. They can just dribble out the clock. And the signature road win that the Rams have been seeking, it seems like, for the last at least season and a half, is going to come tonight in Las Vegas. Well, Coach Bowinkle going to have a chance to talk to Tim Miles. I got a feeling he's going to have a very happy coach on his hands. So our final score, Colorado State 78, UNLV 63. And Tim Miles and the Colorado State Rams now get ready to go home to face Jimmer Fredette and the BYU Cougars. And suddenly that matchup looks a lot better when you look at it from an outside perspective. When you look at the Mountain West Conference, because Colorado State has shown they're the real deal here in the 2010-11 season. And for Lon Kruger, he's just got to hope his team can get Trevon Willis back. Because when he's healthy, he's a sensational player, and UNLV can still do great things this season. This may just be a speed bump right now until they can get healthy. Is this a team that battled San Diego State down to the wire? So don't forget about the Rebels. They're still going to be a factor, even though they're 2-3 in conference play right now. But what a win tonight for Colorado State. They are going to have a very fun trip back to Fort Collins as they get set for Saturday. And I got a feeling they may have a chance to pack Moby Arena